thing that has not been our business, but they have been making it our business.
Right.
It's this whole Charlie Kirk situation. So you guys know Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a right-wing, conservative, extremist, white nationalist. The other name or description or bullet point that they have seemed to be...
It's too soon to be using the word bullet. It's too soon to be using the word bullet. It's too soon to be using the word bullet.
All right.
Okay. Right.
What do you call it?
The point. Just say the point.
So whatever they want to call him is Christian. So Charlie Kirk was the head of the Turning Point organization. Like I said, it's a conservative, right-wing kind of foundation that believes in Christian values and basically white man being first. He was going around college campuses because it's always been said that, colleges are very liberal. The conservative voice doesn't really have a place on college campuses. He was on a tour and has been doing this for several years where he goes and spews, in my opinion, from what I've saw, a lot of hateful rhetoric.
Question: when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know you do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles. LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic, and we know he's not very smart, not very bright, not wise, not somebody of good character.
Blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today. Data shows they were actually better in the 1940s.
The death of George Floyd that no one dares to say out loud, which is that this guy was a scumbag.
Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder.
There's no such thing as white privilege or racism. So
Black people are allowed to talk about black culture in a way that white culture cannot. Black people can go up and say that there's a baby mama problem in black America, and white people are not allowed to say that. Oh, I just did. So what are you gonna do, cancel me? Skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day.
Well, he was shot and killed last week during one of his college tours in Utah. He was shot in the neck on live TV. Like, people saw it. The videos are out there. We didn't post it on the Wind Up page just out of respect. He was taken to the hospital and he was later pronounced dead. This has sent conservatives, specifically white men, up in a roar in this country. There has been a lot of people who have not been empathetic and have said things like good riddance. They have said things like karma, kind of came back and bit him in the ass. Now, Trei and I, we do not condone violence. And I'm kind of taking my time with this, and I'm stuttering just a little bit because what we've seen is there have been a lot of people who have been losing their jobs, a lot of people who have been suspended from their jobs because of the views that they have expressed regarding Charlie Kirk's death. People are saying that people are celebrating his death. I don't think anyone has been celebrating his death. I do think there has been a lack of empathy for him. And again, he's married with 2 kids, and sorry to his wife, and those kids no longer have a father. But at the same time, as a person of color, hearing some of the things that he has said about black people or any people of color in the past, and how we are below, standards. Black people don't have empathy, or there are people, not just black people, there are people out there who are not empathetic.
Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday.
there's a mythology around MLK that does not warrant the reverence that he gets treated with in America.
We have a federal holiday to a guy that talked about race all the time. The country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. The death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI.
Ketanji Brown Jackson is what your country looks like on critical race theory. Ketanji Brown Jackson is an embodiment of the tyranny that we currently live under. She's an ideological, unintelligent, yet confident fanatic. So she wants to be the first ever black woman on the Supreme Court, yet she won't even admit that she's a woman.
What are your thoughts on his shooting and the things that you have seen since then? And I would encourage you to be careful. Be mindful of what you say in this case. And I know that's very hard for you, because I think one of the things about us, we kind of pride ourselves on saying it like we mean it. How we feel is how we feel. But there have been attacks against people and their livelihood because, or some people lack empathy about this young man's untimely death.
up as a black young man, whenever we did something as a child or as a teenager that was dumb, say we were skipping, say we were showing out in class, we said something back to our parent that we weren't supposed to say. We got our ass whooped. And there was no empathy that was given by our parents because we brought that on ourselves.
The decisions that we made sometimes.
Correct. Now, some people may say, Trey, where are you going with that? So the tongue is a powerful thing. You speak things into the universe and it comes back, whether it's good or whether it's bad. I didn't know about this young man before he was murdered. I didn't know who the fuck he was, never heard of him.
A lot of people didn't, actually.
Right. But when it happened, I said, let me take a step and go look and see what this motherfucker had to say. And he said some disrespectful, disgusting, low down 30 things. He said some things that's dirtier than Donald Trump.
Degree.
Reject feminism.
Young women need to get married at a younger age and start having kids.
Submit to your husband.
Democrat women want to die alone without children.
A lot of them are on birth control too, and birth control like really screws up female brains, by the way.
And we should tell them to stop freezing their eggs and start finding their partner earlier and have lots of babies.
So materially insane to think that 1 in 5 American women will be raped in their life.
It is, I agree.
No, meaning that they're lying about being raped. That
You're comparing abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. By the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals. It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised. Well, at what age should you start to see public execution? I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. A lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled, Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America.
the Democrat Party believes everything that God hates.
Like, we're dealing with maggots, vermin, and swine here. These are not good people. They're not even a little bit good. I know people that went to Haiti passively as like agnostic atheists, and they came back searching for Jesus because they saw like legit demonic activity. Kamala Harris wants to see the elimination of the United States of America.
Buy weapons. I keep on saying that.
As top Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. Someone should go and bail this guy out. Native-born Americans, you better buy weapons, everybody. Have a lot of guns at your disposal. I would never leave your home without a weapon.
We actually need looser gun laws because I think that
Gun laws.
Oh yeah. They said we have more guns at the Turning Point HQ than you can imagine.
Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Well, I'm sorry for his kids because I don't condone violence. Even if we disagree in this world and have different opinions on anything, we should not pick up a weapon and harm someone. But I say this to say that when you speak the things you speak into the world on other people, it will tenfold and come back to you even more. I empathize. No. I don't empathize. I sympathize for his family. I have sympathy for them. Because let's just say his wife might even agree with the shit that he used to say.
Oh, she agrees. She's taking over his organization.
Hey, you know what? I don't say, you shut up, Trey. Don't say that.
Some people have been saying things like, fuck them kids.
No, that ain't right. That ain't right. Your kids ain't got
I
nothing
don't,
to do.
because at the end of the day, his kids may grow up, they may see the things that their father said, and they may think that that's wrong. So I don't think it's good or right to say F them kids, because that's not cool. One of the things that he was big on is the Second Amendment right, the right to bear arms. He even once said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing here, that sometimes there have to be sacrificial deaths to protect our right to bear arms.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
But damn, are all of the kids who have been shot across our nation over these last couple of decades going into these school shootings, are those sacrificial killings to make sure that we maintain the right to bear arms? And he says things like that, oh, I get nervous when I get on a plane and there's a black pilot. Or when we talk about the intelligence level of black women. The stuff that he says, and I think that's the part that troubles me so much, people are saying he was a good Christian man. Those of us who grew up as Christians and try to live our lives as Christians, nothing about what that man said is
Christian-like.
Christian-like. Okay. He's very divisive. He has monetized on creating chaos and confusion. And even with this organization Turning Point, I believe he was on a mission funded by a bunch of other white nationalists, these Project 2025 people that, by the way, Project 2025 is live. Okay, people, if y'all are not paying attention, it's live. They have been going around the country trying to radicalize younger white men and women for this movement because they feel like they're losing their place in society. These white men, these white women with these conservative values are being passed off as Christian, and it ain't Christian. It's not Christian at all. It's not about love. It's not about acceptance. I don't understand how people are saying he was a devout Christian. That ain't about no damn Christianity. Okay.
And that ain't got shit to do with it.
Right. And I think what's happening is people are confusing being a white nationalist with being a Christian. Okay. And those are not the same things. I strongly believe if Charlie Kirk was a Christian, the division that his death has caused in our country would not be happening right now. If he was a man of faith, if he was a real Christian man that lived his life and preached in the values of Christ, our country wouldn't be in an uproar right now. The whole country would have been mourning someone who lived a life of Christian values that inspire other people. He has inspired hate, and that's all that I'm seeing now. You know, George Floyd was something that during the pandemic, the whole world got to see this black man die at the hands of the police, pressure on his neck. I can't breathe. And this man made a mockery of that.
The death of George Floyd that no one dares to say out loud, which is that this guy was a scumbag.
Y'all expect us to feel sad or have empathy? Yes, we don't like and condone the way that he died. But it's a little hard sometimes for people who have been oppressed or people who have been subject to hate and racist comments and rhetoric, encouraging and inciting violence and things like that on other people. It's a rock and a hard place for us to find that. What's going to happen because Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, Disney suspend his show as a result of what he said.
Some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
Personally, don't think he said anything that was outrageous. All he was basically saying was how the people on the right are doing their absolute most to make sure that the person who shot Charlie Kirk was a white man. He was a MAGA supporter. His family was a MAGA supporter. It was one of their own who did this, not us.
I even saw some people who agreed with Donald Trump and all his policies and everything, saying that they was hoping that it was a black man.
Yeah.
They were hoping that it wasn't one of their own. Like, why are we so divided? Why are we so divided?
I am glad to see so many people are in support of him and they are rallying around him. We got the head of the FCC going onto a podcast celebrating that.
But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC. Again, there's actions that we can take on licensed broadcasters. And frankly, I think that it's really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we licensed broadcaster, are running the possibility of fines or license revocations from the FCC if we continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion.
That, to me, it's showing that, guys, whether you care about politics or not, we are being silenced. Okay. And you got to be careful when stuff like this start happening, because our democracy is moving to a fascist kind of government. Like me and my friend Dion was talking about, we're going to have one king. There are not going to be any more elections. And when you start speaking out against the government, or against our government leaders, you're going to be silenced and you're going to be dealt with. You will lose your livelihood. They are activating the military and moving them into cities to quote unquote stop violence, when the crime in these cities that they're wanting to go to have been steadily on the decline. Just like how George Floyd was a trigger point for Black people, Charlie Kirk is a trigger point for white people, and they want to get us back.
White power, white power, white power, white power.
And this ain't none of our damn business. This was another white.
I'm just sitting here watching. I feel like this particular thing just should have been one episode, because you going off the track.
I know. I'm running my mouth.
What we discussed.
Put the shit to the up, okay? Shit to the up.
I know I'm talking to Trei, just sitting here, and I apologize. And I hate this, because I know what I want to say, but I can't say it the way that I want to say it, because at the end of the day, I do need my job. But I feel like myself or any other people, we're being silenced. Unfortunately, I don't have tons of money just sitting around where I can, I don't have that. I have people depend on me and me depending on myself. And this is what they want us to do. Trei, do you have anything else you want to say about this?
It's about damn time.
Like, can I speak? Thank you.
It's about damn time.
I think that for me, I try to put myself in a space, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. The impact that we have made on Target should be the same impact that we make on all these other sources. I say, should we go ahead and unsubscribe for Disney? I'm down. Now, would I miss my stuff? Yeah. But there's a bigger picture here, right? Yeah. There's a bigger picture. And I think that's how we have to operate. When we move in numbers, we make an impact. And we have shown with Target. We've shown with other things. So if we got to come together and say, you know what, let's stop supporting this motherfuckers who don't support us. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I agree with you 100%. Black people, we have to understand and remember that we have buying power in this country. We tend to support and buy the things that we want to support and buy. And it makes a difference when we can all come together and we can get on the same accord. And if we're saying that we're going to boycott, we all need to be on the same page. And I do feel that we have an opportunity, just like some people feel like the Democrats have an opportunity, where we have to work on messaging to make sure that everyone, the message is out, we're all on the same page and we're doing these things. But it makes a difference, okay? The thought of, boycotting Disney, because Disney owns ABC, which is where Kimmel's show was. Disney owns Marvel, they own Hulu, ESPN. Those are big companies or whatever, but we have to get back in the habit of organizing. People always say, well, why is it that gay people, this the gay agenda. But the thing about gay people is a lot of gay people know how to mobilize. This is the plan.
The gays just know how to do stuff, and they're survivors.
I laugh because I had this conversation with my friend. Him and I literally talk about what you're about to say. We would talk about gay people, and I'd be like, not just gay people, Black people, people in general. But he's strong on so many creative gay people, and how we have a real strong community to be able to do a lot of things. So where you're going, him and I have had these conversations. We'll go ahead. That's why I laughed.
we know how to mobilize. When it's something that we want to do, we know how to make it happen. We know how to come together. At the end of the day, the beginning of the morning, middle of the afternoon, we Black first. We ain't gonna never ever forget that. We can't forget that because you look at our skin, it reminds us of that every day. But we gotta get better at coming together on one accord to make sure we're there. The church used to be the place where we used to go to for stuff like this. It used to be the place you can go to, and the same message, every Sunday, wherever you were going, people knew, our activists, when it came to protests and stuff like that. We went to the church, got the message, we got the directions, we went out there, put our boots to the ground, did what we had to do. Now you got churches they just all about making money or, putting money back into the pastor's hands, but that's neither here nor there. Gotta be careful where we're going. And again, I'm sorry if I'm stumbling just a little bit because there's so much that I want to say that I can't say in fear, if I'm being honest with you, of possibly an employer or someone retaliating against me and cutting off my livelihood.
And like you said something earlier where he said that slavery was good for us.
This shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes. Black America is worse than it has been
that affected
in the last 80 years.
The only thing that I will say about that is that for me, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. You know what slavery was? Because it made us Black people stronger. It made us more perseverant. It made us what we are and how hard we fight for things.
Well, we were all that before slavery too. Now wait a minute.
Well, I mean, I can't say that. I mean, I just think it made us who we are today. It makes us fight harder for where we at today. Okay. Now, I went around when slavery was happening. So maybe I've done history and I know what I've not done seen and read and watched. And I think that because of those things, it have made us want to be better than what our people had to go through. I'm not saying all white people are the same because, like, Shell, my best friend, she's white. I have other friends that are white. They're not all the same. But what we ask is that people don't understand why people don't have empathy or sympathy for the situation because of the things that he said about Blacks, about women, about gays. It's just disgusting.
Latinas, Asians, he didn't just stop with just Black people. Yeah. His message was full of hate. It was just hate, and that's not Christ-like. That's not Christ-like at all.